Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Can y'all hear everything okay? Welcome everybody. Alright, today we're going to be doing some texture painting on Kika. This is the first time I've done like a character texture painting on stream. Last time I did painting it was of the creature cow. Welcome, welcome. All right, let's go ahead and get going. So first off, we're going to start by, painting in some more of the details that aren't in here yet. Oh, Kitty Roo's husband's name is Zendello Magonas. So right now I'm gonna paint in some of the, scales here, I don't know what I would call them. Scales, I guess. That's one way of putting it. So I'm gonna start painting these in. I like to block out all the colors in flats first before I go in and start shading. I'm gonna, let's see, I have to take her hair off for a minute so I can paint under here. Sorry, Kika. Oh yeah, the ears of the species are shaped like butterfly wings. Just like the eyelashes. So, how are you doing, Ink? It's been a long time since you've seen new stuff from you. I mean, I've been constantly posting new content and creations and stuff, but I think that YouTube is really just hasn't been showing it to everyone, so that's why people think that, like, I haven't been doing stuff for a while, but in reality, I've been, like, making stuff constantly for the past years. It's just YouTube isn't really showing it. Well, especially I've been posting stuff on, like, Twitter and stuff because it's easier to update on things there, and Instagram and stuff. Do you think you will make custom emotes for channel members? Ooh, that's a fun idea. Well, especially if I decide to keep streaming like this. I don't think I have, like, channel membership set up or anything, so I'd have to look into that. That might be a good way to help support the game. What species is Kika? Her species is Floodikins, and Floodikins are like butterfly creatures, aliens, not creatures, aliens. They live on the planet of Floodika, and they go through like a metamorphosis when they're around like 9 or 10 years old to get their wings. And so Kika hasn't gotten her wings yet. That's why she doesn't have them. But at some point soon, she is going to have her metamorphosis, and she's going to get her wings. What role does Kika play in Mariposa? So she will be an NPC in the prologue of the story, the demo. Basically, she's kind of like a little sister figure for Mariposa. She's the daughter of one of the farmers whose farms border the rescue center's land. So she likes to visit the rescue center a lot and play with the animals there and play with her toys. Hi, we wanted to ask, why are you rebooting Dragon Queen? I love Scarlet Rain. I couldn't stop reading it. I have to say it doesn't need any changes. Because I wrote it when I was in high school, and from my perspective, as someone who has gone through college now, it needs changes, and there's so much more I want to have to it. I felt like the world and the story felt a little simple, and I can add so much more like content and depth to the characters and the story that I want to add. It's Dragon Queen is kind of like a story that I really want to take my time on and work hard on because it's something that is very personal and special to me. What is going to be the source of the game's music? Well, a lot of it is going to come from my little sister. Her YouTube channel is called Color Planet Crazy, and she's going to be the one that does a lot of the music. She's a musician, and you should check out her album on her YouTube channel, Color Planet Crazy. Well, you are entitled to that opinion. And it already exists, so I'm glad you like it. You said that Floodica's moon has moth people, right? Is that where Zendelo's originally from? Yes, it is. Good catch there. Zendelo comes from the moon. Any advice on world building? Because I'm working on a book series surrounding wolves with elemental powers and trying to figure out what customs and traditions they should have. Well, the best piece of advice I can give for world building is to look up real world cultures and history and stories in real history, because looking up stuff straight from the source is always the best way to get the best original and pure types of storytelling. So when you pull from reality. While it's good to get inspiration from fiction, like that's very good to do, fiction always comes from somewhere in some kind of inspirational sense. So if you want to get like the pure, unfiltered source of inspiration, reality is a good place to go, as well as fiction, a healthy mix of both. So studying real world cultures, studying the way humans have created things and interacted with one another and created invention and culture, how their religions interact, all very good stuff to study. So do you make the models in Blender and then put them in 3DCoat for painting? Why, yes. Yes, indeed. Blender does have texture painting tools, but they are not nearly as robust or what I need as compared to what 3DCoat has. Substance Painter is also a very good texturing program. There's a lot of great channels here on YouTube, actually, that go over historical events and culture. Though you have to be careful with history sometimes, because history can sometimes be misreported on or biased or incorrectly assumed about sometimes. History is a very tricky subject because of the inherent subjectivity of man. And of course, history books even and can get stuff wrong because of that, and how a lot of our information of history comes from letters or subjectively written documents. It's interesting. Who is best girl in Mariposa? That depends on your definition of best girl. I guess my personal best girl would be Mariposa and Kitty, but it's all subjective. I love all my characters in their own ways. Are you excited for Star Wars The Bad Batch? Not really, honestly. I'm someone who really likes Clone Wars. Like, that's my favorite Star Wars content. but the Bad Batch episodes in season 7 didn't really connect much with me. I thought they were just alright. Because I thought that the Bad Batch themselves just felt really boring and cliche. I don't know. They just felt very one-note characters to me. I don't know if they can, as characters, really carry an entire show. In fact, most of season 7 I didn't really like that much, except for the last arc. That was absolutely incredible. Some of the best content in Star Wars. But the 2 arcs before that, just so middling to awful. Really strange. Do you have to make the model less poly in order to put it in 3DCoat, or can you drop it in? You can probably still have really high poly, like sculpt stuff in 3DCoat, but it's not a good idea because it could easily crash the program, or if it's high poly and hasn't been unwrapped, you won't really be able to paint it. You have to unwrap stuff first before you can paint it. Unless you do vertex painting. But that's not very good unless you have something that's high poly. It's a little complicated. How on earth do you keep focused on a project? Oh man. I mostly just get really hyper-focused on my own stuff. It's hard for me to focus to finish other people's projects though, like that I'm hired to do. Not hard for me, but I have to really focus myself to finish those. And it can be difficult, but I have to do it. What are my plans for Spectral Lakes? Well, Spectral Lakes, I'm working on the 2nd book currently. And I also want to finish up the audiobook here on YouTube. "3D makes my brain hurt too." But you get used to it. Yeah, there probably will be ocean-themed types of levels and areas. Alright, what's next to paint on? Let's see. This should be good for now. I think I'll start in on the actual painting part. Hello, Inkros. What's your opinion for WandaVision or Falcon and the Winter Soldier? I quite liked WandaVision. I had my issues with it, but I really liked it and I enjoyed watching it. Falcon, I've only watched the first episode of. I'm not quite as interested in it because WandaVision had like magic and retro styles in it and was like more experimental, while Falcon is not quite as interesting to me because it seems like just normal action stuff. But yeah. Do people in the dragon race have to find clothes that match their wings, or do their wings change to match their clothes? Their wings change to match their clothes. Their wings are like very flexible and durable and color changing. Their bodies are not color changing though, only their wings. And it does take them like a few minutes for the colors to change. It's not like an instant thing. It takes a bit of effort. Wait, oops. I need to freeze these areas because I don't want to paint on them. Actually, wait, I should freeze this a different way. Just a moment. I'm going to instead freeze this. And then invert. So then I'm only painting on that. Now I get to paint in all my little shading on the skin. Oh yes, there definitely are new characters coming in the Dragon Queen reboot. Like, there was already the new Sphinx character in the reboot chapter sample. Kika! Excuse me. Oh wait, I probably can't play this because it's probably will do copyright stuff. Just a moment. Thank you, Diesel. No, I am not finishing that version of Turquoise Throne. It would be the rebooted version that is coming next. But again, Dragon Queen is a project that is long-term right now. Because I'm not able to sustain myself off of it, unfortunately. See you. I'm not answering any questions on My Little Pony related stuff right now. I'm not in the fandom anymore and I just don't want to like talk about it anymore. Will the reboot be in book form and an audiobook form on YouTube once it gets finished? That I don't know. Likely yes. Are you into Hell of a Boss? Not really. I like the art a lot and the animation is really good. But I'm personally not a fan of like that crude humor. I don't have anything against it though. It's just not personally my thing, but I do really like the art direction a lot. It's very good. Where did you get the idea for this game? Well, basically, I guess the very first ideas for it came when I was listening to Aurelion Sol's theme from League of Legends, who's this like Star Dragon guy. And when I was listening to the music, I thought of like the idea of this girl floating around in space, and then like a human girl at first, and then she would come across, like the story like formed in my head of like her coming across this eldritch space creature, and she needs to help it somehow. And so the pieces started coming into place of like space girl, she has like a space van, she goes around and helps animals, and then there's a big creature that's like an eldritch creature that she has to also help. And it's at first it seems out of her depth, but she's able to end up helping it anyway. So that story kind of evolved and took form, and this space creature turned into Alex, and Mariposa turned into a half butterfly girl because I wanted her to be an alien because those are more fun to design and visually cooler. I'm basically new to your channel. All I knew from the past is that you were a Pegasister, so I have no idea what you do now. If you can tell me, I'd be most appreciated. Sure. Well, what I basically do now is I do original stories, and I'm working on my indie game called Mariposa and the Galaxy Man. And that's what I'm currently working on right now. Like the videos on my channel, I have some explaining it and what the whole like concept is. And so I'm an artist, writer, 3D modeler. That's what I do. Thanks. This current background music we're listening to is Disneyland New Orleans Square background music loop from Disney Theme Park Audio. Makes me think of visiting Disneyland again someday. If only I was in California right now. Oh wait, I don't really want to be in California right now, except for Disneyland. That's the only reason. I'm not sure if you've talked about this yet, but what were your thoughts on Wolfwalkers? I liked it a lot. Obviously, the best part for me was the visual design and visual direction. That studio, I think it's Cartoon Saloon, they are prolific in their incredible art direction. Absolutely amazing work. I felt like the story was a bit simple and weak compared to some of their other work, like Song of the Sea and Breadwinner, but it was still well told, even if it was very predictable. And sometimes being well told is better than if it's predictable or not. Yeah, Mariposa is half human. Her father is human, and her mother is Flutterkin. Yeah, and of course the sequence with them, with the Running with the Wolves music by Aurora. Oh my gosh, that was gorgeous. Absolutely amazing. That's the kind of stuff like I imagine in my head when I'm listening to that music. It felt really good. Very good stuff. Is there a type of character design you think is overused in animation? Yeah. The one I talked about in my Onward redesign video. There are others as well. Like, I do think Pixar and Disney should branch out a bit. But I'm not too, like... I guess some styles used in Disney Channel shows have gotten a bit overused. I mean, everyone talks about that, like, CalArts bean mouth style, which isn't quite the case, but I do agree that that style is a little overdone. It's not bad, it's just kind of overdone. Do you have a particular creative process when designing clothing and fashion? First comes imagining it in my head and trying to figure out the shape, language, and style of the character. Then comes doodling it down, figuring out their body construction and type. Then comes like their, you know, hairstyle, hair, face. What kind of face would be best for them? What and their character. And then comes stuff like the actual clothing itself, which I usually do like research for, especially if the character is supposed to represent a specific decade or time period. I will look up clothes from that era and then look up a whole bunch of them and kind of piece together stuff I see in outfits in order to make an outfit that fits the character best. If you could make the next Disney film, what would it be? Probably Mariposa or Dragon Queen. Something like that. However, I doubt I would be able to. What rides do you remember riding at Disneyland as a kid? I've been to Disneyland like 3 times when I was a kid, and every time was like the best time of my life. I just remember them so fondly. My favorite ride is probably Indiana Jones and the Indiana Jones ride at Disneyland. I really liked that one a lot, especially when I first went on it when I was like 7. It felt so real, like I was really driving over that lava. Whoa. And I loved Space Mountain. I loved Pirates of the Caribbean. Jungle Cruise. It's great. Classic. Tom Sawyer's Island was fun to ride the little trolley over to. And then the Swiss Family Robinson tree, I actually never saw it as that. It was the Swiss Family Robinson tree was there when my mom was younger, but when I went there it was like the Tarzan tree house. I don't know if it's still the Tarzan tree house. Did they change it, or I don't know. And of course I love the gift shops. There was so much cool stuff in there. We didn't like get anything much because we didn't have much money to spend at Disneyland after buying the tickets. But sometimes when I was a little bit older, I brought my own money and bought like some Star Wars action figures there. When I was really into Clone Wars. Alright, let's unfreeze all this. Now let's go ahead and do the clothes here. Oh wait. Now let's start on these clothes. Let me see here. Where should I start? With the shadows. Of course. Insert T-pose for dominant stroke. Who is your favorite Star Wars character? Oh, definitely Ahsoka. Ahsoka was probably the reason I got into Star Wars when I was younger. Because I saw her and I was like, whoa, there's a female Jedi? Whoa, it's a girl? Cool, I want to be just like her. I get to have force powers and stuff. And then from there on out, it was just me getting into Star Wars and seeing the movies for the first time. And having a lot of fun. Have you seen Mandalorian? Yes. I like Mandalorian. It is solid. I have cosplayed Scout before at a few conventions. Out of the characters you came up with, who is your favorites? I can't really put a... I can't. Hello, Lurker. Wheat the Lurker. I actually have published my book. I've published 2 books on Amazon. When do you think the demo for Mariposa will come out? What are you shooting for? Basically, we're hoping before the end of the year. It seems like that might be able to be the case because I'm getting things done with a lot of the art. So we'll have to see. We're hoping. But if there are delays to the estimate of when it will come, we'll let you know. Will the game that you're making be free to play when it releases, or what app stores will it be available on? The demo will be available on PC. As for any other stores or consoles, for the final game, I don't know. It's very much too far in the future to figure that out, unfortunately. Because that stuff can be pretty complicated. And oh, and as for the cost, the demo is going to be free, but the full game likely not, because it's not like a free-to-play type of game. Like, usually free-to-play stuff is multiplayer or has some kind of monetization to it, but because this is a single-player, well, single and perhaps co-op type of game, there's not really much to monetize besides the game itself. So that'll be the game will be pay to play, just like any other platformer. Will the game work for Mac, Windows, or both? I would hope we could get it to work on Mac, but again, I just don't know. We're too early in development to answer those questions. Did you have other names before coming up with Inkros? Yes, actually. My first online handle was Ahsoka Anya, and this YouTube channel was called Ahsoka Anya at one point. But then I changed it to Inkros. Though originally my OC was called Rose Breeze, I eventually changed it to Inkros. So it went from Ahsoka Anya to the idea of Rose Breeze to then the idea of Inkros. And then I settled on that. Shut up! What is the best art tools you can use for the computer? That heavily depends on what kind of art you want to do. Heavily depends. Do you mean 3D art or 2D painting? How long would you say from ideas till now we've been working on this game? Like 3-4 years. Have I messed around with Clip Studio Paint yet? I have not. I played around with it a little bit when I first bought it, but I really need to use it more. It is my fault. I need to use it more. Hello, Andrew. Thankfully, it doesn't look like she's going to take that long to paint, because she's fairly simple compared to some of the other characters. So that's good. Thank you. You do spy a Hat in Time doll. There she is. It's a little Easter egg that's going to be in the game. Same with this Rasputin doll from Psychonauts. Hunter asks, do you have a favorite 3D platformer? Why, yes. Yes, I do. Hat in Time and Psychonauts are my favorite 3D platformers. I can't really pick one over the other. Because, like, Hat in Time is best in terms of gameplay, and Psychonauts is best in terms of characters and writing story. They're both brilliant. I love them. And Psychonauts 2 is coming out this year, hopefully, so woo. Hopefully. Have I ever played Hollow Knight? I played a... Oh, sorry, I was distracted. I played a bit of Hollow Knight, but I haven't continued it. I should, though. It's one of those things where you like start the game and you say, I'm gonna finish this, and then you never continue it. So I played like the start of it, but I need to still play more. Oh yes, I do remember the creepy area in Mia's mind. Oh, I've played Sly Cooper. I've played the first and second Sly Cooper games, and I've played some of the third as well. I think I still need to finish the third Sly Cooper. But yeah, I love those games. They're great. Absolutely fantastic. Have you watched the channel Nitro Rad? He covers a whole ton of 3D platformer games. I have, yes. I don't remember if I'm subscribed to him or not, or how much I've seen of him, but I definitely have watched his stuff before. Speaking of games, one needs to finish playing. That is me with Prey 2017. Oh, nice. Yeah, it's a great game. I actually finished it fairly recently. It's good. Good game, especially gameplay-wise. Story-wise, it's kind of weak in some areas. It starts out really interesting, but then it kind of fizzles out a little bit, but I do quite like it. It's a good game. I think I'm gonna wrap up in about 5 minutes. 6:30. I've played some of Crash Bandicoot 4. I'm still playing through Crash 4. I haven't played the originals though. This is not Blender, actually. This is 3DCoat. I do my modeling in Blender, but I do my painting in 3DCoat. What is Illuminara's story? What is she mad about? I don't know how much I can say, but I will say that I have an animatic on my YouTube channel called Illuminara 1.0, and that tells part of her story. She has gotten like a redesign, as well as her story. It will be changed a bit, but it will be kept somewhat, the start of it will be kept somewhat similar to what is in that animatic. But yeah, she's angry at the company that created her, basically. But yeah, I can't say much more than that for the sake of spoilers, because her story will come near the end of the game. What is Mariposa's favorite food? Probably nectar pancakes. She really likes the baked goods. Does Mariposa have a special talent? Singing, dancing, etc. She loves to sing and make music, play guitar. She also likes to doodle. She doesn't really like draw, but she likes to doodle little things. And of course she is very talented at calming down animals and helping animals. And will there be a chain of restaurants kind of like in Final Fantasy 15? Maybe so, I don't know. Too late game to wonder about at the moment. But there will definitely be little shops to go to. Alright, I think that's all I'm gonna do on stream for now. I will continue working on this. But I think that's gonna be it for now, guys. Thanks so much for coming. Regular pancakes will have to do for now. Yep. Alright. See you guys.